Today we're going to make some very delicious hot cross buns. Okay, so for hot cross buns, you need to use strong flour, okay? And what I've got here is I've got some lovely mixed flours, so it's not just white strong flour. I have got some granary in here, which just gives it a little bit more of a flavour as well as a better texture. So I'm just going to put the flour into my mixing bowl like that. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon or level teaspoon of yeast, and this is fast acting yeast. So it's important that you know this. And I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar. The sugar just gives it energy. If you want your hot cross buns to be very sweet, then you would add more sugar. I'm going to put in some sultanas, which I have soaked. You can soak the sultanas just in hot water, or you can soak the sultanas and fruits, any fruits you like, in juice as well. So you could use orange juice or apple juice, or you can just use water. So there you have it. That's all mixed in there. I've got 1 egg here, which I've obviously cracked the egg and whisked it up, and I'm going to pop that into my mixture. And on the stove I have got, on my hob, I have got some milk, and this milk I have warmed. It's important that you add a warm liquid to this mixture. Don't worry if the mixture gets to be a little bit, well, not like porridge, but it may be a bit too thin. It doesn't matter at all. You just add a little bit more flour. Okay, so you want to get that to the right consistency. And then once it is at the right consistency, you're going to knead it. Okay, now on the side here, I have also made the sort of white top for the crosses, and that is just flour, plain flour and water. Okay, so this is your mixture now, and what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of flour onto my table, tip out my dough, and I'm going to knead it. Okay, now the longer you knead it, the better it will taste. So when you knead, just use the palms or your back of your hand and your knuckles and your fist, and basically you want to knead it as much as possible. This is quite a heavy mixture, all right, so you want to make sure that you give it a good knead. You are lovely and warm, so it likes that. Then you want to divide the mixture into, or the dough, into 4 even pieces. I'm going to make these buns not too big. I'm going to make them an even size because I don't want them, they're quite rich, so I don't want them to be too big. So I'm just going to run them around my hand, flatten them a little bit like that. There we go. And then I'm going to brush the top with a little bit of beaten egg, and then I'm going to just show you how to make the cross for the top, or if you don't want to make a cross, you don't have to. You can just decorate them with this dough here. This is just a very, very simple dough that's just made of flour and water. And all you do is you make that into long strips of the dough like that. You take your beaten egg and you just brush the top of your buns. They'll go onto a baking tray into a hot oven. You want 220, and they'll only probably take approximately 10 or 12 minutes. So there you have that. So then you can stretch over the extra. I've got one here that I made. You don't want them to be too thick. That's the main thing. Keep them nice and thin. Just you can do them over the top. If you don't want to do a cross, we could do a little nought or something else here, completely up to you. And you just pop those into the oven. You can, if you would like, sprinkle a little bit of sugar over the top, but to be honest, I don't really think it's necessary, but you can do if you'd like. And then you can just brush that with the final bit of egg, pop those into the oven, and the way to know if they are cooked, they will be lovely and golden brown, and when you touch the bottoms, you give them a little pat, and they sound lovely and hollow. I hope you enjoy your delicious hot cross buns.